We're going to call the meeting for Akron City Council to order. Clerk will read the roll.
Baylor.
Aye.
Connor.
Aye.
Freeman.
Aye.
Busco.
Aye.
Hamer.
Aye.
Lombardo.
Aye.
McKittrick.
Aye.
Malik.
Aye.
Neal.
Here.
Amobian.
Aye.
Samples.
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
Swirsky. All members are present except for Swirsky.
Thank you so much. Before we move into our regularly scheduled agenda, I'm just going to ask that we just take a pause and have a moment of silence for Mr. Ray Capper, who sadly has passed away, who I know meant many things to many people. Truly a giant in our community who made a huge impact, and he would truly be missed. So at this time, just a moment of silence, just to reflect on his life, his contributions, and his legacy. Thank you so much. We'll now be led in prayer by Samantha Campbell from Akron Pregnancy Services. Immediately following our prayer, will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilwoman Connor. Samantha?
Yes, hi. I first want to thank everyone for inviting me to pray for you guys tonight. Akron Pregnancy Services has been serving the community for nearly 40 years, providing material goods and education to the greater Akron community for nearly 40 years. So on behalf of APS, we'd like to thank each member for the difficult decisions you make for the good of our people of our city. So let's pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this time tonight to pray for the city of Akron and each of the council members. We ask that you guide this meeting with wisdom in all they discuss this evening. Bless everyone present here tonight, Lord, and open their hearts and minds. May progress be made according to your will, Lord, allowing the things you want to be heard, and those doors that need to be closed. We thank you for our city and for the freedom of prayer over Akron tonight. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The minutes from our previously held meeting have been provided. Are there any additions or corrections? Seeing and hearing none, Councilman Fusco.
Motion to approve?
We have a motion on the floor. Can we get a second by Councilman Lombardo?
I second that.
Roll call.
Baylor.
Aye.
Connor.
Aye.
Freeman.
Aye.
Busco.
Aye.
Hamer.
Aye.
Lombardo.
Aye.
McKittrick.
Aye.
Malik.
Aye.
Neal.
Aye.
Amobian.
Aye.
Samples.
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
Minutes past 12-0.
Thank you. Before you, you do have the consent agenda. Councilman Fusco?
Motion to approve consent agenda?
Thank you. Can we get a second, Councilman McKittrick?
Second.
Roll call.
Baylor.
Aye.
Connor.
Aye.
Freeman.
Aye.
Busco.
Aye.
Hamer.
Aye.
Lombardo.
Aye.
McKittrick.
Aye.
Malik.
Aye.
Neal.
Aye.
Amobian.
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
The consent agenda passes 12-0.
We have no public hearings this evening, so we'll move right into our old business. Budget and Finance, Councilman Freeman.
Yes, thank you, President Somerville. We did have all of our hearings last week. Good hearings. Appreciate everyone that was involved. We also had a meeting today at 3:30 regarding an amendment that had been made to our operating budget. Had originally planned on asking for passage this evening, but since we had the 3:30 meeting today, we'll come back to council next week and ask for passage. And as I'd said Friday, if there's any questions, any comments, please direct those either to Mr. Fricker or myself, but the committee would request time at this time.
Thank you so much, Councilman Freeman. Planning and Economic Development, Councilman Fusco.
Yes, thank you, President Somerville. The committee respectfully requests time on item number 1. And we respectfully request a suspension of the rules with a favorable report on item number 2.
Any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Yes, thank you. This is putting a cap on the third-party delivery service for restaurants. Obviously, with COVID and everything that it has brought, there's been a greater reliance on delivery and in support of local businesses. And we have found that that there has been, in terms of the delivery business, there's been situations where, you know, it seems to be an excessive amount charged for the delivery services. This would put a cap on that at 15%. And then after, hopefully soon, but whenever COVID is done, and we can go back to some sense of normalcy, I believe this ordinance would be reevaluated and looked at then. We had spoke about that today as well, but it would be no longer in service, this particular ordinance. But we talked to a couple restaurateurs last Monday, spoke to them, heard from them, and we believe it's in the city's best interest, along with major cities in Ohio and throughout the country, that this is in fact a good way to go in terms of protecting the citizens of Akron. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The rules have been suspended and the committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This ordinance passes 12-0.
Councilman Fusco.
Thank you, President Somerville. The committee's requesting time on 3 through and including 7.
Okay, time will be granted.
Thank you. The request of the committee is favorable on item number 8. This is the conditional use request for what is known as formerly the Corral Restaurant at 1006 South Arlington Street. The committee had conducted a hearing in January on this particular location. The petitioner has agreed. There's 21 conditions, and the petitioner has agreed to those. And the planning department did recommend approval, and we're recommending approval this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilman Fusco. The committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Hamer,
Nay.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This ordinance passes 11-1.
Councilman Fusco, what is your pleasure on the rest of the agenda?
The committee requests that we file item number 9 and that we take time on the balance of the agenda. Thank you.
Time will be granted. Public safety, Councilman Kamer.
Thank you, Madam President. The committees still continue to take time on both pieces.
Okay, thank you so much. Time will be granted. That concludes our old business. We'll now move into new legislation, rules.
Item number 0A, offered by Mayor Horrigan and Fusco. Resolution acknowledging the public service career of Ray Capper, expressing condolences and sympathy to the family of Ray Capper on his passing and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman.
The committee's report is favorable, and we're asking for passage.
Any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
So many kind words were given this afternoon, and I think we just would be served well to take a few moments. If anyone would like to offer some comments regarding Mr. Capper and his invaluable service to the city, I think this would be a good time to have council come forward.
Thank you so much, Councilman Freeman. Mayor Horrigan, do you want to start us off?
Sure, thank you, Madam President. Just to echo my comments from this afternoon, we're all saddened for his family. His contributions to the city of Akron in starting out as Ward 7 councilman really kind of, blazed a trail on what public service looks like and how to care for a city. And even to this day, he cared about the things that were going on inside the city, so much so that he became involved and helped a tremendous number of us, kind of get to where we are, but also concentrating on those key city services that really make cities good. And that's police and fire and public service and how we care for our citizens. He cared about those to the very last day. What was the time when you got a phone call and said, hey, because he wasn't a cheerleader, he was your coach. And he wasn't there to make sure that you felt good about everything, because there was always one more. You could always do a little bit better. And for that, I appreciated all of the advice and the wise counsel over the years. And I know many of you feel the same way in your relationships with him. But, our hearts go out to his family, because he was a lifelong Akron person and committed to this day. And so I wanted to make sure that I know you all, many of you feel the same way. I know I do. I'm saddened today for his family and Barb and the kids. And so I wanted to make sure that you all in the public knew that. We had public statements, but it's important to recognize those people who give so much to the city of Akron on a daily basis. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor Horrigan. Councilman Kamer.
Thank you, Madam President. This is going to be a tough one. Ray was a good friend, very good public servant. I want to say thank you to him and his family for the service that he provided, especially here in Ward 7. Obviously, I'm going to get a little personal, because I first met Ray when I was a little kid down at the Firestone Stadium. Him and my dad played softball together. Then they also competed against each other. Very competitive. I remember Ray and the team that he coached was Sims New York Life. I can right now picture the uniforms that he had. They were the pinstripes, to kind of copy off the New York Yankees, because he was a huge Yankees fan. I don't think they were very attractive uniforms. But I just want to say thank you to his family for allowing him to serve. Over the years, Ray and I would meet a lot and discuss city politics, but then also we always left conversation for softball. And the Firestone Stadium and softball meant a lot to him. And I will have to say that him and my father did team up, and I'll say that they did create the Industrial Softball League. They also handpicked and scouted the best players back in the 70s for these teams, and just a lot of memories. And I cherish the moments I had with Ray, because even before my dad passed and after my dad passed, he always would talk about the memories that I had as a child and my father. So thank you. And thank you, Mayor and Councilman Fusco, to bring this forward. I also would like my name added, but I'm pretty sure council will pass this as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Kamer. Councilwoman Amobian?
I didn't have that kind of personal relationship with Mr. Capper, but I knew him from afar. And every time I would go to the family restaurant, he would be in that corner advising somebody, and you could always walk up to him and talk to him about almost anything. So the family restaurant probably should name that corner the Capper Corner. But I know he did a lot of good things for the city of Akron. So I would like to certainly extend condolences to his family and friends, and just thank him for the service that he rendered. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Amobian. Councilman Fusco?
Thank you, President Somerville. It is a mentor to so many people out there in the Akron community, and you know, his work at First Tee, just amazing how, especially at a time whenever First Tee needed leadership and guidance the most, he was there and really turned that ship around in a large way, benefiting so many of the youth here in Akron area. The thing about Ray is that he saw the value in working across the aisle, working with people that may not be of the same opinion of him, but to advance Akron forward, and he was about that. And whenever you worked with him, then it was about you. And he'd always ask how your family is, how are you doing? And then like Donnie said, then we get into the politics about about Akron and what's happening, But just it's a sad day in Akron. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Fusco. Councilwoman Baylor?
My memories of Ray are similar to the others, except Donnie. I didn't have memories like that. They didn't go that far. But I did have the honor of sitting with him at the family restaurant on a couple of occasions and getting some advice from him as far as politics are concerned. And just like the mayor said, he loved the city of Akron. He loved it with his whole heart. And that always came through in his conversations and all that. And I did have the opportunity to talk to him days before his passing. And he as much as said he wasn't going to be around long. And he was always in touch with his mortality and everything like that. Very strong person, strong character. His lovely wife. I've seen them so many times at different fundraisers, and they were always encouraging and very pleasant. So, and wonderful to talk to the both of them. So my prayers are with the family as well. And just like Donnie said, I'd like my name added, or council as a whole, I think should do this one.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Baylor. Is there anyone else that has a comment? Councilman Kamer, would you like to make that motion for us?
Madam President, sure, I will make that motion for mayor and council as a whole. Thank you.
So we do, you're welcome. We have a motion on the floor. Second, Councilman Fusco.
Second.
Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Kamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This resolution passes 12-0. Item number 0, offered by Freeman, and this is a substitute offered as an amendment. Ordinance to make the annual appropriation for the current expenses and other expenditures and the capital outlays of the city of Akron for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021.
Councilman Freeman,
Refer.
this item will be referred.
Item number 1, offered by Mayor Horrigan, resolution approving and confirming the appointments of Joseph Faris, Alicia Marchand, and Megan DeLong, alternate, to the Akron Local Board of Tax Review and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman,
Committee's report's favorable. We're asking for suspension of the rules.
any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Yes, I believe the resolution is self-explanatory. And with that, we do ask for its passage.
Thank you. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal, Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This resolution passes 12-0. Item number 2, offered by Samples, ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee, after publicly advertising for bids, to enter into a contract or contracts for the construction of citywide sidewalks 2021 and declaring an emergency.
Councilwoman Samples,
Thank you, Madam President. The committee is asking for this to go on the consent agenda.
this item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 3, offered by Samples, ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with Summit County for the resurfacing of Smith Road, authorizing the Director of Finance to make payment therefor and declaring an emergency.
Councilwoman Samples,
Thank you, Madam President. Consent agenda, please.
this item will also be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 4, offered by Freeman, ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee, after publicly advertising for bids, to enter into a contract or contracts for the replacement of lead service lines at residences throughout the city of Akron and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman,
Yes, the committee's requested this item be placed on the consent agenda.
this item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 5, offered by Kamer, ordinance authorizing the purchasing agent to enter into a contract or contracts without the formality of publicly advertising for bids with American Blaze Masters for the purchase of equipment to upgrade current self-contained breathing apparatus for use by the Akron Fire Division and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer,
Thank you, Madam President. The committee's report is favorable, and we're asking for suspension of the rules, please.
any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
All right, thank you, Madam President. This is basically to help the Akron Fire Department personnel to perform gross decontamination of their equipment while they're on the ground. This is also part of this project will allow the breathing equipment to be upgraded and compatible. Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much. The rules have been suspended and the committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Taylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This ordinance passes 12-0.
Thank you so much. That concludes our new legislation for this evening. We'll now move to the portion of our meeting that we refer to as our public comment period. Our clerk will play in voicemails received.
Good evening. Down. Good evening. Down.
There's a couple minutes of technical difficulties playing in the voice calls.
Good evening. John? Good evening. John?
Just one more second. We're going to try one other thing here.
Okay.
Good evening. John West.
Stop it.
Attorney and counselor of law. 730 Caleb.
Weird.
Thanks for your patience, everyone. I'm going to try from a different device.
730 Callis Drive, apartment 1201, Akron, Ohio 44311. My name is also Parable 31, verse 9. Look me up. Today I'm going to teach a little about how to demonstrate in March. First of all, you should know about Second Baptist Church. There's the pastor, Roderick Towns, has written Black Lives Matter and turned his church in cement. If you're interested in helping Black Lives Matter with your time or your finances, give Robert C. Towns a call. Second Baptist Church, corner of Thornton and South Main. Well, the first thing about marching is, unfortunately, sometimes we may have to do it in a little cooler weather. Remember, discrimination goes on regardless of the weather. Now, you may have to do this with city council. Try to reason with city council before you do what I say you should do. But in terms of the police department, you will have to do this because the truth is not in them. Remember what I said, racism runs deep, the marrow to the bone to the marrow. But if you have to demonstrate, you will have to march. I don't advise bullhorn, such a beautiful voice to do it. March, demonstrate, petition, visit, call, leave a message, write. And you can do this, have to do that with the chief of police and the police officers. You can't do it against the mayor, have to reason with him, city council, the prosecutor's office. You have to do it against the prosecutor's office, the judge, and yeah. Remember, there are those in the system who don't really believe in discrimination and racism, but they're quiet because they fear retaliation. Remember Luke 18, verses 1 to 8. That's the parable of the unjust judge who feared neither God nor man, and the persistent widow who kept coming back again. Thank you. The parable of the unjust judge and the persistent widow who came back again and again and again until he took her case. Remember, things have to be done over and over again.
Hi, my name is Carolyn Olbo, and I'm a resident of Cuyahoga Falls at 2325 7th E Street, and I'm calling to express my concern about the potential sale and development of a citizen-owned piece of land between Tice and Hardy Roads. Its proximity to the Cuyahoga Valley National Park makes this a special piece of land with incredible potential and power. Specifically, it has tremendous power to affect the Cuyahoga River with stormwater runoff. I urge the council to learn more about these issues and to work with the planning department to encourage them to accept a conservation-only bid. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Philip Rondo, a resident of Akron at 537 Beaverbrook Drive, and I am calling to voice my concerns about an area of forest near Ties Road. I'm worried about the runoff this potential development of the area would bring, along with the pollution of both the air and Cuyahoga River. I also would like to mention that there has recently been an increase of biodiversity in Furnace Run, such as the return of the bobcat. This area off of Ties Road has the same opportunity for this resurgence that would increase the complexity of wildlife in the region. Removing this forested area will increase the fragmentation of species in the region surrounding Cuyahoga Valley National Park and decrease the opportunity for species to travel inside and outside the valley. Species such as the fox, minks, and great horned owls are the species we've observed in this forest off of Ties Road, and they would be some of the first species to be threatened by the destruction of this forest canopy. I hope you consider all these issues I've brought up. Thank you for your time.
This is Sarah Blakely calling from Fairlawn at 81 Kenridge Road. I'm calling in regards to the plan for the Peace Road property. I would request that the City Council work closely with the Planning Committee to review the proposals for this property and to choose one of the conservation plans. This is an important green space in the valley. The biodiversity present and the carbon sequestered in this property is a valuable asset to our environment and cannot be easily replaced. Developing this property would be a short-sighted decision. As someone that greatly values the water resources in our community, I'm also very concerned about how development of this property could negatively impact the quality of the Cuyahoga River and all those who depend on it. Please help conserve this space and preserve the valley for future generations. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Hello, my name is Keith Adelman, and I live at 3091 Drexmore Drive. My wife and I moved from out of state last year back to this area to start a family. We believe Northeastern Ohio is a special place where urban life and nature come together. The thought of our city destroying more green space is disheartening, to say the least, especially for a city like Akron, who has miles and miles of residential areas that could benefit from more city resources. We are calling to express our support for the Preserve the Valley organization and for the city to formalize a master plan to preserve the nature around Merriman Valley. Thank you very much for your time.
Hi, my name is Shelley Pearsall. I live at 1660 Smoke Rise Drive in Akron. I'm a member of Preserve the Valley Citizen Action Group. We are advocating for the 100% conservation of the Tice property owned by the city of Akron. It's been called the last major green space in the city limits. Tonight, I'd like to read the list of wildlife spotted in the last 6 months by property owners who border the Tice property, and we have photo evidence for many of these species. Great horned owl, barn owl, red-tailed hawk, Cooper's hawk, all Ohio woodpeckers, turkey, red fox, mink, skunk, opossum, rabbit, fox squirrel, red squirrel, white-tailed deer, coyote, painted turtle, and snapping turtle, which I think you'll agree is a pretty amazing list. We encourage all council members to support the conservation of this valuable natural resource with its rich diversity of wildlife so that current and future generations of Akron families can enjoy it and maybe see a mink. As Mayor Horrigan said in the recently released tree canopy report, quote, "We have a sacred responsibility to take care of the land and to ensure that it remains healthy for future generations," end quote. Thank you, council members, for your attention, and have a wonderful evening.
Hi, my name is Ryan Keene. I am a longtime resident of Ward 10 in Akron, a member of About Face Veterans Against the War, and serve the people of Akron. First, I would like to call and thank Councilwoman Samples for acknowledging the inhumanity that took place on February 17th of our houseless citizens behind Grace Park. I'm looking forward to an update about what you were able to find out, who was notified at the mayor's office and APD on February 10th of the illegal CSX tent encampment suite, and what support did the mayor offer? So I'm looking forward to your follow-up, Councilwoman Samples, as well as any other council people who would like to look into this further. So $1.4 million was quoted by the mayor in the Akron Beacon Journal as being spent on homeless programs. However, online, it says it is a $1.085 million budget. I wanted to know why there's no access to itemized line-by-line accounts of this information. According to the $1.85 million spent on homeless programming, $400,000 were from grants for emergency home repairs for low-income, elderly, and disabled, which is greatly needed, but it is not homeless programming, really bringing the budget down to $685,000. $535,000 is spent on emergency shelter grants. However, these emergency shelter grants do not offer low to no requirement housing programming. They should be focused on community members in the city of Akron who the continuum of care in the mayor's office constantly refer to as self-resolved, which means they don't want to, or they are unable to meet the requirements, the archaic requirements of religion and sobriety to enter into these programming. There is $150,000 spent on homeless prevention. The Akronite app, it is estimated, according to reporting from the Devil Strip, it will cost $142,500 a year operating costs plus rewards for an app that was downloaded 4,000 times. I think it's absolutely despicable that we spend as much money on an app that 4,000 people have downloaded as we do homeless prevention in this city. The magistrate Towle said that 100 evictions are happening per week in Akron, and rent is up 55% since 2000, medium income only up 29%. Rent in 2000 was $483 a month, 2019.
Hello, this is Joe Tucker, a Ward 7 resident residing at 436 North Firestone Boulevard, Akron, Ohio, 44301. I am in support of community invoice into the budget, as well as the funding of a police auditor's full-time position with investigative staff as assistants. Really excited for this to be made a reality in the 2021 budgeting process. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Chad Worrell with DoorDash, address is 3108 Russell Road, Alexandria, Virginia. My name is Chad Worrell, and I'm with Government Relations at DoorDash. Thank you to the Akron City Council for the opportunity to provide testimony. There is no doubt that COVID-19 has left restaurants struggling. DoorDash is proud to say that restaurants on our platform have been 8 times more likely to remain in business over the past year as restaurants have needed to connect with customers off-premise. DoorDash has provided restaurants with over $130 million in grants and direct relief since the start of the pandemic, and recently announced additional relief programs. We believe that there are better ways to support restaurants than capping the contracted commission agreements that exist between us and our restaurant partners. We provide a service for restaurants just like credit card processing services or product distributors. Commission caps are an attempt to pick winners and losers in the marketplace. The Progressive Policy Institute recently released a paper that highlights the unintended consequences of commission caps. The most clear result of commission caps that have been passed nationwide is that caps lead to lower volume. Simple supply and demand economics, a decrease in volume creates less revenue for restaurants and fewer earnings opportunities for delivery drivers. As the PCI study points out, prices for food delivery have been developed to ensure that costs are distributed in a way that spreads the cost to all 3 sides of the market: restaurants, dashers, and customers. Caps disrupt this model, and the repercussions are negative for all parties involved. Importantly, Congress has now passed the $28 billion Restaurant Revitalization Fund. We are working closely with the National Restaurant Association to ensure our partners understand how to apply for relief. This is the long-awaited funding that will meaningfully impact the restaurant community. In addition to the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, COVID-19 vaccination rates continue to increase, and restaurants are able to reopen their dining rooms and welcome customers back inside. Given the improving state of the health crisis, long-awaited government funding, and the negative impact that commissions have on the community, we are asking for the order to more directly be tied to the problem that the council is trying to solve. Meddling in the marketplace can produce some very dangerous outcomes, and tying the restriction on contracted commissions to restaurants' ability to have indoor dining at a minimum capacity of 75% makes much more sense. 120 days after the end of the emergency equates to picking winners and losers and is unnecessarily long given the latest developments in vaccination rates and government funding. Again, thank you for the opportunity to provide testimony on this matter. We are happy to continue working with localities to help provide support for restaurants during these times. Thanks.
That concludes our public comments for this evening. I want to apologize for the technical difficulties. We will address that so that does not happen again. And I think we can go back and upload comments so that we can get some better audio. At this time, we'll go through our committee assignments, rules. Councilman Freeman.
2:30.
Public Safety, Councilman Kamer.
2:15.
Budget and Finance, Councilman Freeman.
3 p.m.
Parks and Rec, Councilman Neal.
1:45.
Planning and Economic Development, Councilman Fusco.
1.
Housing and Neighborhood Assistance, Councilman Fusco.
Subject to call.
Public Service, Councilwoman Samples.
2 p.m.
Health and Social Services, Councilwoman Amobian.
2:30.
Public Utilities and Green Committee. Councilman Freeman.
2:45.
Okay. Is there anything else coming before council at this time? Councilman Malik.
Thank you, Madam President. Since there were a number of comments about the Valley and Tice Road, I just wanted to kind of update council on where things are. Last, or maybe a week and a half ago, the city announced in partnership with the city of Cuyahoga Falls that they've hired the consultant who's going to conduct the master planning process for the Valley. It's a really exciting step. You know, one of the things that's kind of hindered sort of the development of a common vision in the Valley in the past has been Akron and Cuyahoga Falls not necessarily working together. But here, for the last about year or more, the Akron and Cuyahoga Falls planning departments have been working together, and the result is this master planning process. The key is going to be, you know, getting people engaged and involved in that over the next year. So I'll definitely be sharing more information. And then the other half is the Tice Road property, right? And so initially there was an RFP for development in August, and there were 5 responses. Currently, there's an RFP that's out for conservation, and that is going to be, those responses are going to be due at the end of the month. So at the end of the month, we'll know what all of the different proposals are there. And then I hope that we can all engage in a discussion. I'm sure the administration will select the proposal that they would like to put forward, but we can also look at all of the proposals and weigh in, especially because it's city-owned land, right? So this isn't necessarily land that, you know, someone's coming before us for a zoning change. This is city-owned land, so we really get to shape, you know, what's done with it. But definitely just want to kind of make sure everyone's up to speed on what's going on in the Merriman Valley.
Thank you so much, Councilman Malik, for that update. Is there anything else coming before council at this time?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. If there are no objections, meeting adjourned.
This concludes the live broadcast of Akron City Council. Margot Somerville, President of